All right. Okay, let me get the video streamed to the Facebook group and we'll start. Here we go. All right, my friends. Hey, my friends. Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, have everyone. Welcome in. We are here today. We're going to talk about turning engagement into actual leads. This is about content to conversations, to consults, to clients, that whole thing. Why? Why does this matter? It matters because engagement is nothing. Content is nothing if it does not turn and lead someone somewhere. So as coaches, we want them to go from conversations and consults and eventually into clients. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Why it's happening, what's missing if it's not. And you're going to walk away with who to talk to and what to do next with them because we want something to happen from it, right? So come on in, say hi, hello. I'm hoping my comments section shows up. Let me pull it up on my phone because most of the time, like I get the YouTube comments come up, but the Facebook ones don't. So let me just pull it up here. And as we go today, if you have questions and things that pop up, drop them in the comments. And then at the end, we will do a little Q&A time and all that kind of good stuff. So that way we see them as we go. It's because I don't have my glasses on. This is the true life with Angela Nauman. Needs her glasses. I texted my son last night and I get this text back. Are you wearing your glasses? And I was like, no, just answer the text. So anyway, okay. So let me show you something real quick. Think about it like this. Think about 3 people that you have engaged with in the last 48 hours. Okay. And so maybe somebody that's commented on something, maybe you've commented on their things. They have hit your stories up. They replied to an email. They clicked a link you sent in the email or something like that. Okay. So think of those people. And here's what I want you to know, friends. Okay. Just when you have them, go ahead and give a thumbs up in the comments. Even if you're catching the replay on this, as most people do, hit that thumbs up for that comment. So we can look at, we have frozen. Tell you what, I know what to do. Let's see if that fixes it. Oh, no, wrong one. Oh, come on. Let's go to this one. All right, let's see if that fixes things. So let me scoot that camera over so we get the one we need. Front and center. All right, I keep having camera issues and I don't ever know why. It's freezing up and I'm like, I have really great internet, so I haven't figured it out. Okay, so if you think about 3 people who've engaged with you in the last 48 hours, when you have 3 people in mind, just put a thumbs up in the comments. Friends, here's what I want you to understand is that those are not followers. Those are not just audience. Those are active leads, just in different stages of the client journey. So some are future clients, some are future referral partners, some are future event attendees, some will become your high ticket private clients. Some people might just do something low ticket with you. Some are future collaborators. The possibilities are endless unless you do nothing with them. So for those of you coming in, my name is Angela Nauman, and I am your consistent client coach. And today we're talking about engagement with clients, going from engagement to clients and what is missing if that's not happening. So that's what this workshop today is about. So we're going to dive right in. It is a common belief that for you to have that if you have good content, you just have to stay visible and people will reach out. Here's what I want to tell you. That was true maybe 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, 100% true. 2026, it is a different market. Okay. To me, that is not how coaches, high ticket coaches, transformational coaches create clients. Posting and assuming if you have good content, people will reach out is an influencer model. The more you post, the more you're seeing people will be influenced to work with you. That's an influential model. That is a great model if you are an influencer, if you are selling a $7 ebook running through ads. This is not the high ticket coaching model for marketing. Okay. The reason your clients aren't consistent is because your content isn't good enough, or it's not because it's not good enough. It's because content alone does not convert high ticket clients. Right. So we're going to dive into this a little more. I remember a specific time. It was January 4th. I don't remember the year, but I remember it was January 4th because I've gone back and looked at this video enough to figure out what was so good about it. I've looked at my scripts, I looked at my notes, I've looked at all kinds of things, especially before I've rewatched it as things before Facebook did away with the live videos forever kind of thing. And here's what I want you to know. I did something at the end of that was just super simple, and I had done it before, but it worked different this time. I said, if you want more, drop this word, right? We've all done that, right? We've all done that. But it had never really worked like that before. It never had. And so what ended up happening is I had 4 women on that live video drop the word. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a mind blown of what just happened. And I didn't just let it sit there, right? I did something with those four women. I did not just drop them a link to something. And I think at the time I was selling a ticket into a workshop, a $99 3-day workshop. And I didn't just drop them a link. I didn't direct them to the funnel. I didn't send them a resource. I started a conversation. I got curious. Why'd they choose that word? Why did they decide to drop the word, right? And hey, Jan, I hope you're still here. I just saw the comments. How's it going, my friend? So let me put this over here where I can see. So I didn't just do those things. I started a conversation. I got really curious, but not in a pushy way. Not in a, let me try to force this sale. Let me hurry up and get them while they're hot. Not like that. No weirdo vibes. I'm big on like not being the weirdo any more than I already am naturally just a little geeky, right? So, but I showed up in a way that honored God. That was number one. That's important to me. Show up in a way that honors God. I honored the women in front of me that I was talking with that were on the other side of that comment. Because this is what I'm very big on, friends. This is not about leads on a spreadsheet. These are women. These are women with their own families and their own passion for their business, their own love of God. And that's what I try to really remember in those moments. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more here. These are women that have real questions and they have real pressure on them and real hopes for their business and real concerns about their clients or about making money or whatever it is, real lives. So instead of just letting those comments sit there or dropping a link or saying, sign up for my stuff, I approach these conversations as service, not as a tactic. And this is where I'm really big. And we hear things like this, but I'm hoping I break this down to explain it a little bit more and how it's different. Because it's not about following a script. I listened more than I talked. I led with a compassion and not this idea that I needed to convince them to do anything. Is this making sense? Say yes if this is making sense. So I tried to really serve that person in front of me and not just move them through a funnel. Friend, if God has entrusted us with people to serve, then we cannot treat our conversations like transactions. We have to steward them and steward them well. Okay? So, from those 4 comments that dropped a word, I think the word was Goonies, if I remember right, those conversations turned into people inside my next event who then became clients and was a part of my first 30K quarter. That is the power of developing that relationship and being that leader in that relationship. And we're going to talk about it. So think back. Here's what I want you to do. Think back to those 3 people, the last 48 hours of your post. How many of you, and you can say the word me, if this is you, how many of you, there's 2 options here. Number 1, maybe you have said something and people have engaged and you just want to let it sit there. Drop a me if that's you. Or this is what happens more often. Okay. You they engaged, you didn't just let it sit there. You kind of started a conversation of sites. Maybe you started it in the comment section. Conversation can happen there. Maybe you started it in a DM, I don't know, or in person. But then it just didn't go anywhere. It kind of like got stuck in that friend zone and just kind of like circled back and around and everything except actually you being able to help them. If that's you, then say circle. Like it just circled back around, just kept circling. We all have that happen. Okay. But I want you to be aware that when those things are happening, there's usually two reasons why, two things that are, what do you call it? Mistakes that are being made, I guess, or things that are stopping it. And so let's talk about it. So engagement alone is not creating the clients. If it did, we'd all have them just coming out the ears, right? It's conversations. The problem is most coaches do not know how to lead the conversation, right? Do you hear that? Do you hear the difference in that? Most coaches do not know how to lead the conversation. What I see in the industry is not coaches struggling because people aren't engaging. They are struggling because nothing happens after they do. And it is not because they don't care. And it's not because they're afraid to start a conversation. Usually they start it. It just nothing, it doesn't go anywhere. Nothing happens. Can I get an amen? Right? Like this is what happens. So let's break this down and look at what's missing. I'm going to give you two things today to think about. Okay. Number one is the leadership gap. So leadership gap, this is, they are starting conversations, but they are not leading them. Okay. So this, this is you if that happens. So this kind of goes back into, think about it like that circling around. Like that sounds like, well, how's business been? Or, what are you working on right now? That's awesome. I love that for you. I see you're going on vacation. You may have dropped this word. What questions do you have? And then they don't have any and you don't know what to do. Okay. It kind of stays on surface level questions, right? What's your goal this year? And they don't really tell you because it was not maybe the best question or whatever. So, or they all of a sudden aren't sure of how safe this is and they don't ask. They don't really answer, right? But so we never get to what's working, what's not working, what's the frustration, what's the problem, where's the gap. We don't get there, the things we need to be able to help them. So the conversation stays nice and friendly, but not meaningful. Does that make sense? So in the example I have, this happened to me last week. It was last week, maybe on Monday. This lady has been DMing me and she keeps dropping me things. How are you? And I'm like, fine. How are you? And so I was like, okay, we got to get out of these friendlies. Like I can tell she's wanting to develop something with me. Let's see. And I'm like, thanks for reaching out again. Tell me about your business. So I start trying to lead this conversation. She did not want me to, though. She wanted to be the leader in the conversation, but she didn't want to ask me any relevant questions. She only wanted to prompt things to get me to ask about her business. She didn't actually want to know anything about me or my business or what I had going on. And so I kept trying to bring back questions to talk about her and to bring some place here, because some back and forth, because what I thought was like, she seems to have it all together. Maybe we'd be good networking, good for collaborations, good for referrals. We're similar, we're different. I don't know enough about our business to even know if I could send a referral her way. So I started really looking at, okay, let's just slow down on this. And let's see if we can actually get a back and forth and actually start learning about each other. Let me learn about her. But even then, when I started to try to ask questions, she didn't want to do that. She wanted me to then go in and talk about my problem or her event that's coming up. And it was just really odd, to the point I was just like, okay, I'm done trying. And that's what happens, right? People get done. And so she came in with an agenda. And when the conversation didn't flow into her agenda, she would just almost ignore my responses and ask another question or do something weird, talk about her event or whatever. So that circling, why did she do it? Why do any of us? Probably it feels safe. It keeps it because it fits with our agenda. It protects us from being rejected. It goes with what we think the boxes we need to check to create a client. Honestly, it probably had worked for her before. That's why, right? But here's what I want to invite you to. Nice conversations don't create clients. And conversations where you are self-centered are not going to create clients, right? Why? Because no one's going to make a decision in a surface level conversation, and no one is going to make a decision when you're making it all about you. When do people make decisions? They make it when they feel seen, when they feel like something real is happening between, when they face an actual problem, when there's an urgency for solving something. Right? This is why we have to have a conversation, because just because they have the problem doesn't mean they have an urgency to fix it. I got laundry that needs to be done, but I'm not loading the washing machine today. I got a problem, but it's not urgent. It can happen later. Do you see the difference? So we have to know those things. Leadership inside those conversations is not about controlling the conversation. It's about leading the conversation. It's not about pushing. It's not about forcing it out of them. It is being willing to be the first one to go into real substance with them, into what actually matters. So that could be like asking a real question, a deeper question, not just a polite one. It could be staying with their answer instead of jumping into different topics. It could be trying to guide that conversation towards clarity, like I was trying to do. I was trying to guide towards clarity to let's get an understanding of each other, to see are we potential clients for one another? Are we networking partners? Are we potential referrals or collaborators? She was not willing to go there. And I don't know if it was just, it didn't fit her agenda, or if she was uncomfortable or what. So here's what I want you to think. Are you willing to guide someone even if it might feel uncomfortable at first? Are you willing to ask me hey, where is that breaking down? What have you tried so far? What hasn't worked? And that is not about you trying to ask questions to get them on a call, my friend. It is about helping them asking questions so that their mind can start beginning the transformational process, whether or not they become a client for you, right? This is a part of it. So it's not about circling that conversation and staying in the friend zone. It is about being willing to, how did I say it a second ago? Willing to go first in asking what actually matters in the conversation. Willing to actually lead towards transformation, right? And so it's a beautiful thing. Not because we care to get a sale, but because we care enough to not stay surface level. It's like dating, right? As long as it stays surface level, that relationship's not going anywhere. That's the difference. Okay. So quick recap. If you're just joining, engagement isn't the problem. You've got people watching, liking, and even commenting. The problem is nothing's happening with that. And what we just talked about is when conversations stay surface level, that's nice. But the problem is what's missing is actually leading that conversation, there's a leadership gap. And that maybe because no one's shown you how do I lead this conversation and not be a weirdo or not come across salesy and pushy, right? That's the shift. The second missing piece in leading a conversation is what I call the stewardship lens, right? Hey, Tracy, how's it going? The stewardship lens. So the stewardship lens is treating your conversation, how do you say it? Often what is taught in the different programs, you get an online course, you get someone with a sales script, a DM script, and they give you a list of questions. What did I have a coach that called it? She called it uncovering needs or whatever. But here's the thing. We're so often, we are taught to treat these conversations like salesmen. instead of stewarding them like a woman of God, and then 2, stewarding them like a coach. Okay. We're transformational coaches. We are looking to bring people into our high ticket coaching program. We are not here to be salesmen. We're here to be coaches. In these conversations, we show up as a coach. Okay. Poor stewardship. It might sound like you trying to close the sale real fast, talking more than listening, chasing anyone and everyone who responds, not actually trying to get to know them, not trying to understand what's going on, just trying to get a link to them. Good stewardship is going to be like listening. Yeah, it's going to be speaking directly to her and directly, if the offer fits, to invite her to it. If it fits, to direct her somewhere else or encourage her in this or that. Like you're doing directly what fits the need. Okay. And it's leading that conversation when it matters and not being afraid to be the coach and the leader in the situation. Basically, like if you can see a difference for her, something that she can't see for herself, then to bring that forth. So, because here's the thing, somewhere along the way, marketing world has told us this idea that if we really want to serve well and be a good steward, maybe it's not the marketing world, but let me rephrase this. Somewhere along the way, I know I picked this up, right? That if I was going to be a really good steward and I was going to be a really good Christian woman, that I was not going to be all talking about sales, that it would just happen. People would come. They would be attracted, right? They would ask. They should ask me if they're really interested. They should just know. But I'm here to tell you, sis, that is not how it works. Anyone that's telling you that is lying to you. I 100% believe that. So when it doesn't work, what happens? We get quiet. We keep posting because we're hard workers. But we start questioning our calling. We start going, do I need to go back to the 9 to 5? Do I need a part-time job? We start doubting the strategy we picked that we love. We stop having fun in our business. We keep showing up though. But what we're not doing is leading. We're not being stewards. We're not leading. And if I had to be honest with myself about this, not making offers did not make me more faithful. It made me like a steward who buried their talents. When you know you can help someone and you don't offer to help them, shame on you, shame on me. Because the women I am called to help do not need more content. They know how to write content. Like I know that. They need to know what I do. They need to know who it's for. They need to know how to take it to the next step. They need to know what's possible for them. They need to know that the vision they have is not just possible, it's probable. They need to know that there is a way to get from here to here that maybe they can't see. And if I know that, then I should tell them, right? It's kind of like if you know how to make your bread last long. Okay, I'm a sourdough baker. If you know how to make sourdough bread last longer or stay soft, tell me. Don't hide it from me. I'm in. If I do not tell them, how will they know? They could have been laying in bed praying for something. And when we don't lead the conversation, like we just talked about in the previous point, and in this one, we don't actually make offers and steward, we're not helping. We're not fulfilling our calling of helping someone. It's not salesy, it's stewardship. And if I'm really honest, I've been there so many times. I have swung too far this way, too far that way, where I've become about results and numbers and clients. And it's happened where I've come the other way, where I'm just going to go back and look at my offer and I'm going to not say anything to anybody. And they can just come to me, right? Comfort, determination, comfort, it happens. But every time it happens, I thank you, Jesus. He brings me back to reset and back in that right place, not to avoid my offer, and not to be all about the offer, but to be about stewarding that for them. Is this making sense? Say yes if this is making sense. Say yes if you wish more people were like that, right? The offer is how you help people, and in a deeper, more committed way. It is not separate from your calling. It is a part of it. So yes, we talk about our offer. We can invite people in and we can lead them in that decision, right? As coaches, not salespeople. So just keep God in the center and keep reminded of that calling He has for you, and to serve that person, right? Like that's what it's about. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you're watching this. Give a thumbs up to it so more people will see. Now, what I want to invite you to do is think on a scale of 1 to 10. Where would you put yourself? 1, have you been holding back and just hoping that they're going to answer? They're going to ask for help? Or are you 10? Are you confidently leading them and inviting them when it fits? It's a real simple thing. Drop a 1 in the comments, 10 in the comments, or 4, 3, 7. Where are you on that? Where are you on that? We all find that place. And here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're like, oh, Angela, I am a 3. I make offers, but only in my content. That's okay. But if you want consistent clients, we have to learn how to do, like we said earlier, lead the conversation. And then we have to know how to steward that conversation when we make offers. That's it. It's not hard. And it's not super stressful. And it is you being a good steward, a good, I'm thinking the parable of the talents, a good, taking care of the talents given to you. The good news is like, if you're like, okay, I'm at a 3, then sis, that just means there's a little space to grow. That's all that is. There's something to learn. There's something to grow. And you can do that because you're smart. Okay. So what happens if we don't? What happens if you don't? Well, you're going to keep posting, right? Right? Yep. You're going to keep posting. And then what else? You're going to keep showing up. You're going to keep getting engagement. And you're going to keep the same number of clients you already have. No real conversations, no direction, no stewardship. Then you're going to no clients coming in. And over time it messes with you. I know that, you know that. If you know that, give me a thumbs up. Be like, yep, it messes with you. Yep. So we start wondering, is it me? Is it my message? Right? I'm going to list these. Tell me in the comments which one this hits for you. Do you go, oh, it's my message? Is it my message? Is it my offer? Do I need another new strategy? Am I cut out for this? Maybe I need a Facebook group. Maybe I don't need a Facebook group. Maybe I need to host another event. Maybe I need to stop hosting events. Maybe I need to go to YouTube. Like, our brain keeps doing all that stuff. But so what do we do to fix it? We stop waiting for them to come to us and we start leading, but not in a pushy and salesy way, in like a steward for God, in a way that actually helps that person in front of us, asking real questions, staying with their answer, guiding conversation, and being willing to make an offer when it fits, when it's appropriate. So if this is landing, here's what I invite you for. Okay, invite you to. You don't need more content. You've got people in front of you. And here's a little dare. This is going to come out tomorrow. I'm going to post a daily dare tomorrow. Next week, I think I'll do it different. I'll do the live on Thursday and the daily dare on Wednesday. But it's a small thing you can do. You can stop sitting there and you can start leading. And here's how you're going to start today. One simple thing you can do today to start leading is go look at your content over the last week. Write down 10 women or potential people. Some of you may serve men as well, that could possibly be leads right now. From your post, from your lives, from your comments, from your group, from your email, from whatever. Okay. And beside each name, I want you to ask yourself this. Where are they in that client journey? Are they just getting to know you? Are they engaging, but not much? Are they starting to ask questions? Right? Just where might they be on that client journey? So one of the things I like to teach my clients is like, we have content for client journey. I've talked about that for years, but our conversations are different. We lead the conversation differently to help people, depending where they are in the client journey, and to move through the client journey like you would on a date. You don't stay in just all the friendly stuff the whole time. 20 years later, you're not talking about the same thing. Once you see who you have and where they are on that journey, you can start treating everyone the same, and you can start leading them in different types of conversation on purpose. And we have visible conversations and invisible conversations. I think of invisible conversations like the ones you're having in the comment section. You're not looking face to face or whatever. It's kind of there. People can kind of see it. I guess it's visible, but it's not what we think of as a typical conversation. But then we have more typical conversations, DMs, on a call, on Zoom, on the phone, or whatever, right? It's a visible. So just notice, once you know who they are, where they are on that journey, now you can start treating them, that conversation, in an appropriate way. And you can go, okay, well, they're just new friends. I need to build up a little more connection with them. I need to start moving them into being more where we have a little bit deeper connection, where we have a little bit different questions going on between us. If it feels right, right? Like, that's the thing too. Like, you can also start then and go like, I don't even like this person. You can actually do that too. You can do that. You can start talking with them and go, this is not the kind of person I want to work with at all. And you can let them be a referral, like that. You don't know what they need. You don't know if you can help them. You don't know what type of relationship you're going to have. That's what the purpose of the conversation. It's not to close a sale. It's to determine what type of relationship you're having, and then to help that person in whatever way in that form of that relationship. So don't overthink it. You don't need a perfect system. Just write some names down and guess, figure out where they are and go from there. Okay. So you don't need more content. You don't need something. There are people in front of you. But if you actually want to learn how to lead these conversations and turn them into clients, just DM me Groove or comment it below, and I'll show you what that looks like. It's super simple. Okay. Next week, we're going to go deeper into how to start these conversations with the right people and the ones who are actually kind of ready to move. We're going to kind of go into that a little bit more. So we're going to take these 10 people and we're going to talk about what's the next step with them. Okay. So, all right, my friends, you guys are great. I love it. I will see you later. Go talk to people. Go make your list of 10. All right, my friends, have a great day.